All right. Welcome once again, listeners. And this is Fate's Rest. Last time, I'll go over the recap this time. Last time, they were stuck in a never-ending loop. And I'll leave it at that. This time, our heroes seem to have been separated. As Yulby and Callie walk out onto the streets of this mountain village from the door to the tavern, Zug is not with them. And this is where we will start.
Well, for one thing it's hecka cold.
Yes.
Look back for Zug just to make sure he's there while trying to warm up for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Look back to Callie. He was right there, right?
I thought he was right behind us.
Peeking through the door.
If we peek in through the door, do we just see the tavern?
Yes.
Go look at the barkeep. Just, did you see where Sig went?
He followed you out the door.
He doesn't seem to have made it.
He closes his eyes
this
and
side.
he closes his eyes and looks up. It says he's in the location. It's not really pinpoint accurate, but he says he's there in the location.
Well, perhaps.
I will feel the air around us.
You touch nothing. It's cold.
Gonna pull out that handy dandy warm weather clothes that we bought a little while ago.
Yep. Well, thank you, gatekeeper, and close the door.
Yes.
You're gonna put on the warm
Waves the
clothes
door
too.
shuts.
I suppose we'll meet up with him at some point, hopefully.
And maybe his gestures wildly out towards everywhere and around them. Maybe it's another game of find the squawk.
I have a, this might be, I don't know. It might be an odd request or it might not be. Could you help me cut some holes in the back of this winter cloak so my wings can go through when I summon them out? They're no longer the magic spell since they're my wings, so I just need the space.
Oh, yeah.
Hands over the dagger.
I mean, easily. Yulby's pretty good at this kind of stuff because of her training as a paladin of the lady.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Fixing clothes isn't a hard thing.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that was just a thing. I wanted to make sure I did, so I could use my wings even with this heavy cloak. Okay.
You know what? Yulby, roll me a sleight of hand. I want to see how well they look.
Well, good luck to Yulby. Yeah, you jinxed it. That's a 7.
7.
It does the work.
It exactly. It does the work. It looks exactly how you would think it would look.
That's good enough for now. I can certainly worry about it more later. Thank you so much.
Every time the wind blows, your back is cold now.
I mean, it's more important to be able to fly away from danger. Like, she's mostly kept
That's
warm.
fair.
It's fine. Maybe, like, kind of put, like, her regular cloak, like, over top of it or something? Because she can just push that one out of the way
There you
easily.
go.
It's the heavy cloak that the wings can't really push.
Yeah, it's more like the heavy cloak's more like a jacket, whereas the regular cloak's an actual like cape cloak.
So, she can just wear that on top to block the wind. No big deal. Anyway, make our way down to the village?
Yeah.
Alright, so as you walk out into this little town, you will notice that each and every one of the buildings is very unique. There is no two buildings that look the same. Every single house is styled differently. Every single store looks completely different. They're all made of the same materials, but the people who live here have made these buildings very vibrant and unique. I couldn't speak there. And each one has a very notable place where it sits as you go. And you make your way through this town towards the center. And the people all around, now they're mainly orc and half-orc, but there are humans, and there are Loxodon, and there are elves and dwarves, and it's a very diverse town.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are these Loxodon like elephants or like mammoths?
Elephants.
I wanted fuzzy Loxodon.
They're not furry.
It would have been cute.
Wouldn't it have?
They would have, but they also would have been massive. Primal Loxodon are huge. And it all seems like everything is normal. But the closer you get to the center of town, something seems off. When you look at the buildings in the center of town, the color of the buildings themselves doesn't match where the building is sitting. No one around seems to notice this except for the two of you.
I don't understand what you're saying.
So typically in a village with stone buildings, when you paint the building, the paint tends to run off. And especially when it's cold and it's always snowing, the paint tends to run off and splatter all over the stones and the dirt around the building. Well, some of these buildings, it looks like the paint doesn't match the stuff around the base.
So it's like somebody picked up these buildings and played a switcheroo game.
None of the residents seem to notice, but the two of you do, because it seems off. Like, it's immediately noticeable to people who've never been there before.
Okay, and consulting my notes to figure out which one we're here to see. Which one of the creatures? Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Alright.
Sorry, I was like looking through the clues that Kelly has about where all these different creatures are, and like the closest I can find is like one in an Arctic forest, but
You've already met the one
yeah,
in the
but
Arctic
we already
forest.
met that one, so now I'm just like, okay.
Where do we go from here?
Basically.
Alright. So, from what you two give me, you know what? Give the two of you give me history checks.
Thank you.
I want to see if your characters remember this.
That is a whopping 9.
Natural 10 for an 8.
Oof.
We're so good at this.
Alright, so what I can give the two of you is you both remember the gatekeeper and the gatekeeper saying something about this being Fritz's neck of the woods, and Fritz groaning very sarcastically about it. That he would often talk about coming from the top of the mountain. It looks like right now this village is near the base. That's all I can give you with those rolls.
Can I go over and investigate these houses a little bit?
Sure. You go over, look at them, roll me an investigation.
I think Yulby will be looking up towards the top of the mountain.
13.
Roll me a perception, Yulby. It is dusk. And you said 13 on that investigation? So as you investigate these buildings, you will notice that they're not quite straight in the outline of the foundation of the building. Like they're slightly off. Like they weren't put down properly where the line should be.
That's odd. Can I doubt that I can push a building, but can I push on it a little bit just to see solidly it's set?
Sure, it doesn't move. No matter how hard you push, it doesn't move.
I got a nat 20 for a 25.
Amazing.
Nice. So you look up at the top of the mountain. It's a good hike away, probably half a day's hike. And you can see smoke from the top of the mountain. It's just over the dusk sky. You can see the black smoke of campfires.
Cool beans.
Mm-hmm. There's multiple smoke lines of smoke coming up there. Almost as if there might be a town or a village or a major camp somewhere up top.
I think Yulby will point up towards the mountain. Like, maybe we gotta go up? Seems like there's another place up there.
This one here seems... These buildings seem like they've been moved. And then placed...
Oh yeah, because the colors don't match.
Yes. Okay. Well, we can start that way and... Actually, can I stop just anybody who's walking around?
Sure.
Just
You know what? Roll me a d20.
Cool. Just trying to find random person. Because I have a question that a villager should know. 16.
16. You stop at random. You stop this large Loxodon. You can't tell if it's male or female.
Okay. Just, excuse me. Would you mind answering a question for me?
Why, sure, little one.
There's an angry eye twitch at the words little one, but she's gonna swallow that and just keep going. It's fine.
This thing's like 7 foot taller than you.
It's not taller than I am when I have my actual body, but that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, resist the urge to open wings and just fly taller than this guy. This mountain, it wouldn't have happened to have been a volcano at some point far in the past, would it?
Not that I'm aware. It's been just an ice-capped mountain as far as I know.
Okay. And what those... I noticed these buildings here seem a little like they weren't set on their bases correctly. Could you tell me more about why that is?
The buildings? So he looks over the buildings. Oh, that. We just kind of happened to wake up one morning and they were like that.
Does anybody live there?
Those are businesses.
Does anybody go inside those businesses?
Yes, quite often. Did
So
you not
whoever
see
owns
the
the
people coming in
businesses
and out of
didn't
them?
notice it happening. Okay. Thank you. I'm just trying to solve a little bit of a puzzle that I was given, and I just needed some more clues. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Gonna go back over to Yilby and just like shrug. It's like, that did not help at all. Let's try going to the top. The stories I remember, I'm gonna pull out my Braille book. Start flipping through it
Your Braille book.
to look for the stories about these creatures again.
Let me see. There's
Let's see, I'm gonna say this aloud to Yilby as we're starting to walk toward the top of the mountain. Like, starting to walk that way, because, like, where else are we gonna go?
Uh-huh.
Let's see, one's a giant serpent, and we already found that, gesturing to her arm. One dwells in the Great Desert, and I found him. The Arctic Forest, with the forest on fire. One that follows the rising sun, I assume is the cat. One that can only be found on a moonless night is what I assume Fade was. Which leaves one deep within a long dead volcano, one high up in the clouds, and one that sleeps in plain sight.
Well, I would think the volcano one's in the desert. Isn't there one out in the desert somewhere?
You'll be roll me a history check.
Oh, that's another nat 20 for a natural 18.
Yes, Yulby will know that the city of Oasis sits in the crater of a dead volcano.
And she'll point that out.
Right, so I suppose that's where that one likely is. I'm sorry, I haven't traveled in a while before this, so it's difficult for me to remember things like that.
Oh no, I'm from over in the desert area, so I know that one. The other two, though,
High up in the clouds and sleeping in plain sight, I think is what we have. Actually, real fast, hey DM.
Yes.
Because these are, you said they're short stories, right? But you just kind of gave me the
Yes.
summary, and that's fine. Am I correct in assuming the Rising Sun one was the bright cat? Like, did it talk about, like, the brightness or whatever in the story?
All right. So, you got most of them
Oh, yeah?
correct.
Hey, look at me.
The rising sun, it specifically says the one that follows the rising sun. What do you think about that for a minute?
Yeah, there were two suns, right?
Yes.
One would rise and the other one.
They did not, but they did not follow each other.
So that one was the one high up in the clouds, then.
No, that one was the one that sleeps in plain sight.
Yep, you're right.
What's more plain sight than the sun?
That makes sense. No, you right. I got you.
And then the one that follows the rising sun.
We don't know that one, then.
No, you know that one.
that would be Fade.
Yeah.
Oh. So then the moonless night one, we don't know?
Correct.
Okay, so we don't know moonless night, high up in the clouds, and we haven't met the long dead volcano, but we have an idea of where that could be.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there clouds around the top of this mountain? Like, is it tall enough to have, like, clouds around it?
It is, but currently there are no clouds.
Okay.
Is it a
Clear
moonless
skies.
night? They're
It
close
is
to
dusk. You know what? Give me a perception check as the night begins to rise.
Another one?
Yep.
12.
Also a 12.
This is the night of the new moon. So there is no moon in the sky.
Okay.
So it's the moonless night or high up in the clouds. One of those two stories?
Can I reread the story on the moonless night and see what other clues might be in there?
Alright, so on the moonless night in the dead of winter, a shining figure flashes through the sky. Taking the form of a striking bird, it watches over and judges the wisdom of all it sees.
Gonna just say that Callie is reading this aloud to Yelby at this point. Alright, so we have to wait until nightfall and then look for a shining bird in the sky. That's a simple enough task. Hopefully we'll find our companion somewhere along the way.
Yes. Maybe like a falling star kind of thing?
Yeah, it could be. I'm not sure. I only ever read about it in stories, so. The only one I knew personally was the serpent.
I pass a tattoo where Ray is.
Ray. Yes.
Oh, it's more of a loving gesture.
Ray is sleeping. It's cold.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as expected.
That's why I haven't. I'm like, no, you're a desert toad. You just stay.
Yep. So you've got about 2 hours to spend before the dead of night.
We're not gonna make it to the top of this mountain by the dead of night, are we?
No.
Cool. We're just gonna keep trekking at this point.
Yep.
When you get to the edge of town, it doesn't seem as though you can pass.
I'm sorry?
When you get to the edge of town, no matter how far it seems like you walk, when you look back, the town is still right there.
Okay, so we hit that invisible wall in video games where you're not allowed to access this area yet?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Okay.
I put my hand out. Am I trying to feel like a border now?
There's no barrier or anything. It's just, and it doesn't feel like you're being impeded as you walk. You're walking like normal, as if you're moving up the mountain, but the top of the mountain doesn't seem to be getting closer, and the town never goes any further than what it's at the edge of town.
What about the smoke from the weird camp?
It doesn't move. It's still going. It actually looks kind of white in the dark night sky now.
Okay, well, perhaps that's how they protect their town? There's some sort of magic barrier?
I guess we have to go ask somebody if we can leave their town.
I suppose so.
Go back to town.
As you make it back to the town square, it's only been a couple hours, but it seems eerily deserted. And you hear the flapping of wings. And you hear a bit of commotion. And then dead silence.
Can I move toward commotion and wing flaps?
Yes, please.
Yes. Yes. As you move towards the sound, You see some kind of shadow fly up into the sky. And upon further inspection of where it was at, it looks like another building had been moved. And this one is now sitting in the middle of the road.
I look up at the sky.
Look at the building. That's weird.
Look up at the sky. Give me a perception check.
Haha, 22.
Right. As you look up, this thing disappears into the darkness of the night. You see the glinting of shining, almost like stars, on feathers as it disappears into the sky.
Okay. I think we found our elemental.
Oh,
Yeah, whatever.
this is the one in plain sight.
No, it's the one that can only be seen on a moonless night. I saw feathers that looked like stars, kind of.
Oh, so it is a falling star.
Hey, Phrynos.
He yawns. Yes, master.
What is, what's the name of the elemental that, has the starry feathers?
Feathers. Oh, you mean bird brain. That is...
I don't think I could call them that.
That is Trice.
Trice.
Yes.
Okay. You don't happen to
Do
know,
you know
what
what's
they might like, do you?
They're very fond of puzzles and games of intelligence.
And us without our wizard.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
As he starts to sound more and more awake, he says, he is not nearby, but I do sense his presence.
Well, I just saw something flying away that kind of, I thought might be him.
This is quite possible. Did it look like a giant sparkly eagle?
I saw feathers that had stars. I'm not sure. I didn't get a good look.
He's very flamboyant.
Gonna look over at Yobi. I just,
She will be inspecting the building.
Inspecting the building, roll me an investigation.
If that conversation's happening in their heads, like how I think it usually goes, she has no idea what's going on there. That will be a 12 for her investigation.
12. This building looks pristine and like it belongs on the road. Like it was just picked up from its foundation and set on the road, and that's where it belongs. There's nothing on that building that's out of place. There's no claw marks, there's no talon marks, there's no marks of any kind on the building for damage. And it's just sitting in the road now.
Well, this is a stumper. It's not supposed to be here.
no, I think it's a puzzle.
You hear the wing beats again and more commotion coming from the opposite direction.
To that direction.
On the far side of town, a stable has been flipped upside down.
Are the horses stuck inside?
The horses are standing on the roof of the stable, as if they
Do you
belong
mean
there.
the floor?
It is now currently the floor, yes.
Okay, I see what you're saying. They're standing inside on the roof. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gilby, I think we might be dealing with an elemental by the name of Trice, if this is the person we're looking for. Or the...
Yeah.
If it's not, it could be any being playing tricks. We've met who knows how many gods that would probably do things like this too.
Also true.
But if it is Trice, they enjoy puzzles and games of intelligence, so there might be a puzzle to solve. If it isn't Trice, then somebody's just playing tricks, and I'm not entirely sure how to solve it. But
Ugh. Always been mad at these games, but I'll try. She'll try to warm up her hands.
Alright.
I would like to try to figure out what kinds of buildings have been changed, and also what colors they all were.
I would like to see where they match up. So, like, even get a paper out of my own supplies and kind of make a layout of the town that I can kind of figure out.
So as you're checking all the buildings throughout the night, you every now and then you'll hear the same wing beats and commotion, and you'll go run over there, and a building's been moved. And this happens all throughout the night as you're checking all of the buildings and seeing where everything lines up. And the buildings so far that have been moved are either a red color or a blue color. And this could be any shade of those colors. And they're not necessarily all put on the same, like completely switched in their frames. Some of them could be sitting on the road. Some of them are sitting on like a field. Or every single one in this town that's been moved is in a place that a building shouldn't be, or it's in the place of another building, and it's kind of like haphazardly put there. After a couple of hours of marking, dawn starts to break. You haven't heard any commotion for a couple of hours, and you finally, you look at your sheet, you look at your paper, you've made all your notes, and it looks like a total of 22 buildings have been moved.
Okay.
You've marked all of the locations where you think they should go, and all of the locations where they have been moved to.
Okay, how many of those 22 are red and how many are blue?
It is exactly 11 and 11.
Well, we can't move the buildings because they're too heavy.
I would assume, did y'all also make note of the colors of the buildings that weren't moved?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, we did make a map of the town.
So for that one, either one of you, I would just need just a basic history check for that. Either one of you could roll it. It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna let Callie do
That's
it.
an 18.
18. So as you're going over the different the layout of the town and this makeshift map you've made, and you've marked all the different colors, you'll notice that there's only, out of like hundreds of different buildings, there's only one of them that is purple. And it has also been moved.
Wait a second, you said all the ones that have been moved were red or blue. You lied.
I mean, technically purple is both.
Okay, but what side of the 11 does that purple one take from?
Well, when this is a building you didn't notice was moved.
Ah, okay. I see what you're saying. We're good.
Until that morning.
Cool. Gonna.
I was like, this one seems out of place too.
Investigate that building.
Right. So you investigate this building. You walk up, and it looks almost like a big old manor house. In the daylight, it is a very deep purple that you wouldn't be able to tell apart from black or dark blue at nighttime.
Valid.
Which is probably why you didn't notice it. And it's sitting in the middle of a field of flowers, which is very out of place because there's no foundation, there's no path, nothing. It doesn't look like it should go there at all.
Well, it's a nice color.
Well, so this is the only one weird house. Well, besides all the rest of them, this one's even, like, more weird. Yopi's gonna go walk over to knock on the door.
And at first, you don't get an answer. And you wait. Probably knock again. And after a few minutes, someone finally opens the door. And before you stands a very small gnomish woman with this almost twilight colored hair. And she says, "Yes, how can I help you?"
Is your house in the right place?
She peeks her head out the door, looks left, looks right. No. This should be on the far side of town, not in the middle of the park.
When did it move?
I guess while I was asleep, I heard nothing.
Does this happen often?
The buildings do move a lot ever since the new mayor took over.
Can you tell me anything about this
He also
new
enacted
mayor?
a curfew. He's some funny-looking goblin guy. That is a weird color for a goblin. That helps.
Squints.
That's weird.
Do you happen to know his name?
Yes, he goes by Mayor Sinclair. Also, a weird name for a goblin.
I suppose so. Thank you. I suppose we should go talk to him. Do you... Is it just, like, points the direction where I guess I've seen probably, like, a town hall sort of building?
Oh yes, it's the blackened marble building in the far side of town, where this one should be.
Thank you. Miss Lady.
Amazing. 10 out of 10.
She's trying to be polite.
She waves. Okay, bye, and shuts the door.
Yeah. Gonna go that direction.
Callie's gonna rub her eyes a little bit. Okay, so... I guess the mayor's the next person to talk to. When she said strange color, I thought she might have been referring to Dizzy Jack. But...
No, he's too busy. I don't think he'd do stuff in this town.
He wasn't too busy to tail us
Hey.
for weeks.
Both of you roll me Arcana checks.
Woohoo! Natural 19 for a 17.
Nice.
16.
16 and 17. You both will feel, and then you'll hear them talking. You feel this pull back towards the purple building. And you will hear Phrynos and Ray both tell you there's a spirit in that building. Almost in unison.
What do you mean there's a spirit in that building?
That when she opened the door, I could feel Trice's power.
Oh. So we were on the right path.
No, let's not go to the right. Anyway.
Oh yeah, we'll go left.
Gonna turn back around and walk back to this building. I just felt like I had to throw that joke in there.
Purposely turn to my left as we turn around.
Just do a complete one spin.
Yeah.
Nope. And you return to the building. Knock a couple times. No answer. Knock again. No answer. Third time you knock, the door begins to slowly creak open.
Hello, Miss Lady.
No answer.
Your door is open. Can we come in?
No answer.
Trice? Are you in here?
You hear a little bit of a commotion coming from upstairs.
Okay, we're gonna come in. We're gonna make sure
No.
you're fine up there.
Gonna just go inside, assuming that you'll be already apologized for us. It's fine. Just go upstairs.
Yep. To the commotion.
And you walk into this building, and even though you just talked to someone at the door, everything that you pass by is covered in cobwebs and dust, layers and layers of dust, and the buildings are the rooms, all the furniture is sheeted over. There's spiders and bugs all over the place. It's like no one's been in this building for years. And every step you take, the floor creaks.
I'm sorry. I was just like, well, that's not helping our stealth, but neither is this click-clack here. We're just like,
Oh, no.
all the armor with
She's
everything.
not trying to be stealthy. She said they were coming inside anyway.
Anyway, go to the upstairs and try to look around for this, where the sound came from.
And you make your way to the stairs. And you go
Yopi's
up
gonna
the
be
first flight.
careful. Because
Uh-huh.
if they're creaking, she knows her armor makes her a little bit heavier, so just be a little careful.
Each step being careful,
Yeah.
you step down just a little bit more pressure on the step than what you would normally do, and it
Yep.
creaks a little bit heavier, but it holds, and then you make your way up the stairs very slowly,
Okay.
and each step creaks very heavily as you go up the stairs. And at the top of the stairs is a single door. The hallway is black, and there's light coming from the edges of this door. And because of the light, you can see movement on the other side of the door.
Gonna walk up to the door.
And knock on it.
And as you knock, that is where we'll stop for the night.
Interesting. What you want to bet Zug's on the other side of that door playing like a chess game with the guy?
I mean, It could happen. We've seen weirder things. We knock on the door.
This is this.
We open it. It's a brothel.
I'm totally expecting him to be there, and then this is how we get duped the second time. We sat around playing your puzzle all night. Alright.
Zug's gonna have the fun part, okay?
I love the idea of, okay, we step into this town, and you're like, okay, this is the intelligence guy. It's like, alright. We step into this town, he's like, cool, I'm gonna yoink the intelligence guy and watch you guys who don't have intelligence run around like idiots all night. And then...
I'm gonna send a snake after a bird and see how that goes.
I don't know, eagles eat snakes.
Maybe my snake will be big enough to eat this eagle. I'll ask Ray later. It'll be great. Anyway, Silver usually does this part, but you should rate and review our episode. Give it the amount of stars you think it deserves.
Which is 5, by the way. And after you're done doing that, hop on over to our Discord and chat with us there. We got all sorts of fun things to talk about.
Or you could also hit us up on our socials at Fates Rest on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to get the short, sweet lowdown of information. I don't know what, but something.
I try to post on there as much as I can. And lastly, I'll give you the topic of the week. And I've been thinking about this one the entire time we've been recording this. And honestly, I don't know if it has anything to do with this series of episodes right here or not. But I want to hear, as a DM, about the greatest character deaths any of your characters have ever had.
That's foreboding.
Those ones are always very interesting and fun
Okay.
to hear.
But also,
Yeah, but if in relation to the episode,
we
did we just walk into limbo or some bullshit?
like also we literally just went toward the light to open this door.
I shall not speak of it.
Uh-huh. I see.
No spoilers.
I'm watching you. Anyway. We love you.
We love you.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye.